What's up, people? Mike and Ant, another episode. What a weekend that was.
Yeah,
It was definitely a wild card weekend. There was some wild games going on this week. But Mike, how you doing?
man, listen, we here living. I'm holding it together as long as we could get through Chicago, man.
Hey, I'll say this was a good week for me. Out of the 6 games last week, I picked five correctly.
Yep, I
The
got
only one
four.
I only one I got wrong was Jacksonville.
Yep, same thing. I got Jacksonville wrong, but then I got the Eagles wrong too. So I went 4-2.
Yeah, and I told you that the Eagles offense was gonna struggle in the second half.
Uh,
But we'll talk about that later.
AJ Brown laid down. Pause.
AJ Brown almost knocked Sirianni out.
Yeah, he did that too. AJ Brown would be in New England. I predicted that last year. So we'll see. We'll see how long it takes.
Howie might fuck around, send him to like Vegas or somewhere, just to spite him.
I guess it comes down to if he has a no trade clause in his contract. Because if he does, he's gonna have to. They're gonna have to work together.
Yeah, they normally only give that to quarterbacks, but it'll be interesting to see if he has one. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I doubt he has one either. I just wanted to throw that out there. If he does,
But we'll start things off though with the Monday night game, and that is the Houston Texans beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-6. And surprisingly, the game wasn't as the game was actually closer than what the score indicated.
yeah,
You look at the score, like this was a blowout, but at one point it was 7-6 in the fourth quarter, and then they strip sacked Aaron Rodgers. They ran it back for a touchdown, and then Aaron Rodgers threw a pick six, and then the floodgates just opened, and Houston just blew them out. But the Texans defense actually outscored the Steelers offense 14-6,
yeah.
and Houston offensively was not good. It was not good. It was
Um,
tough to watch. Um, I saw somebody today say that CJ stands for choke job.
ouch.
CJ Stroud was terrible last night. But
Yeah.
I'll run off the stats real quick, and then Mike, you can give your opinion on this game.
Hmm.
But CJ Stroud completed 21 of 32 passes for 250 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Should have threw more interceptions than that, but the Steelers dropped them. Woody Marks led the team in rushing, 19 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Christian Kirk led the team in receiving with 8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. They did lose Nico Collins, though he left the game with concussion.
Yeah.
Over in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers was 17 to 33 for 146 yards, no touchdowns, one pick, and he got hit 12 times in this game, which for a 42-year-old that could not feel good. And then Jalen Warren was their leading rusher, 12 carries, 43 yards. DK Metcalf, despite him dropping everything, he led the team in receiving with 2 catches for 42 yards.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what's your thoughts on the Steelers?
I. Oh man, listen. I'll be quick, but I have a few thoughts on it. First of all, this game was the. If you don't understand what people say it's a game of inches, I'm gonna explain it. Right. 7-6 late in that game. Right.
Yeah,
We obviously know we had the touchdown that kind of the fumble touchdown that kind of blew the game up, right? But here's where it's a game of inches. If you fast or you rewind to the beginning of that game, I think it was a pass, say from the 40-yard line. I think Metcalf was about say going towards the sideline, right hash, maybe around the 30 of the Texans field. Um, had a chance to catch it with nobody in front of him, right? And DK Metcalf will run you down. You are not running him down when he has, a full head of steam. There's not many people in the NFL that can run him down. And it's highly unlikely that a small cornerback's even going to tackle him one on one if he does somehow run him down, right?
uh-huh.
So that should have been a touchdown. I believe that should have been a touchdown. Um, Now after that, when you bring it back, that play where Rodgers gets hit, he fumbles, and the Texans score. That should have been a 60-yard Metcalf touchdown. If you go back and watch the play, Metcalf gets the drop on the corner. He's about to blow by him, and that pass is coming. So as long as that pass is in target, Metcalf walks into the end zone probably 5 yards behind that cornerback or safety, whoever was on him, right? Now, um, but he didn't have that one extra second, and he got licked, and the ball went on the floor, and the Texans went from that's a 14-point swing right there.
Yeah,
Just that play, because instead of scoring a potential touchdown, they scored a touchdown. Early in that game, when Metcalf drops it and he doesn't go for a touchdown to put them in score, that was, another chance. The stop on 4th and 1, another thing. And then another thing where you put the game in interest is, look, they made a 4th and 1 in the second quarter with 7 minutes left, right? So they didn't take the field goal, which they could have took. They end up wasting 6 more minutes on the clock and having to take the field goal anyways. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's where it's like, bro, you wasted 6 minutes to get the same 3 points. Inevitably, you needed some of these minutes. So it's like sometimes, especially if things ain't going your way and it's a defensive game, which it was at that point, you take the points. There was a ton of momentum swings in this game from both teams that tried to. CJ Stroud tried to give the game away.
I was
Tried to
about
give.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
to me, the game was lost because I didn't mention this. CJ Stroud fumbled 5 times
Yep.
in this game,
Yep.
and I think that's where the Steelers lost the game. Is that they
They
didn't
didn't
take
capitalize.
pretty much a microcosm of their season. We talked
Yeah.
about it how like Lamar was hurt for most of the season,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was hurt for most of the season, but the Steelers they just never capitalized and pulled away in that division, and that's why
Yeah.
it came down to the last game of the season. And it was the same thing in this game. Like you said, CJ Stroud was trying to give this game away, but the Steelers couldn't capitalize on the turnovers.
They had halfway through this game. I told the people I was watching the game with the Steelers might when I believed halfway through that game was falling into the Steelers' lap because the Steelers defense was matching the Texans' energy. Um, and Stroud was playing like shit. So I have faith that Rodgers can maybe get a drive or two going. And he honestly made the plays to do it. Had he not get hit and got hit and fumbled, and had Metcalf not dropped that pass, so
Yeah.
um, but eventually the Texans defense just overwhelmed them. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense didn't take advantage of any of those fumbles. It was like you just didn't know what to do with them. I don't understand. And I gotta say this: their offensive coordinator left way too much on the table in that game. Like he didn't call a good game.
You talking about Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, it might have been the worst play called. One of From a playoff perspective, it was one of the worst play called games I've seen in a while in a playoff game.
Well, speaking of play calls, Troy Aikman said something during the game, and it made me think. I think Houston's doing CJ Stroud a disservice because Troy Aikman pointed out during the game that all their plays only require CJ Stroud to read half the field. So, like, if the play is going to go to the right, he might have like maybe two or three options to that side. But if it's not there, he panics, and that's when he starts turning the ball over. I think they need to develop him to the point where he can read the whole field instead of trying to make it easy for him, only reading half the field. They need to teach him how to read the whole field because instead of him panicking because the side he's supposed to throw the ball to, nobody's open. Have him read the other side. There might be somebody on the other side that you could throw the ball to.
Yeah,
Instead, he panics and he starts turning it over. So I thought
come
that was an interesting point by Troy Aikman pointing that out that yeah, they're just making CJ just read half the field. And I think they're doing him this because he's already in year 3. Like by now, he should be able to read the whole defense. And the
yeah.
fact that he can't, I think Houston's doing a bad job in developing it. It might come back to hurt him in the future.
I agree. I agree. I mean, there's not. I don't. I just put it like this: as good as the Texans' defense is, that performance won't beat the Patriots as far as the offense.
Nah, I think Houston and Seattle might be in the same boat. Both teams have Super Bowl caliber defenses, but what might prevent them from actually winning the Super Bowl or maybe even getting to the Super Bowl is their quarterbacks.
But I think I trust Seattle skilled players more than I trust the Texans, though.
Yeah, same here, and I think it helps that Seattle has home field advantage, so that could help them, especially for a young team. While Houston, they're going to be on the road, so it makes it even worse, especially when your quarterback is struggling.
I agree. I agree.
But anything else on that game?
Nope. We can move on.
All right, let's talk about the game that added like 10 years to our lives, and that's the LA Rams beating the Carolina Panthers 34-31. It was a great game, but it was also a frustrating game. But the Rams they pulled it off. They found a way to win. Matthew Stafford hit Parkinson with the game winning touchdown. Puka also saved the game by breaking up what should have been an interception.
Yep.
But the Rams they survived. They advance. And for the Carolina Panthers, I know you don't want to have like what's the word, a good loss or a moral victory. But
Yep.
I think for them this is a moral victory. They were 10.5 point underdogs. They covered the spread, which I didn't even see coming. But
Yep.
they covered the spread. They play with a lot of confidence, and hopefully they can build off of this for next year. I still don't know if Bryce Young is their guy, but the rest of the team is solid. I think it's just depending on Bryce Young and how well he develops. He did have a career high 3,000 yards passing this year, but we're in 2026. Like 3,000 yards is not that great, so
Yeah.
he needs to get better. But I think the Panthers, though, they have a lot to be proud of based off their performance on Saturday. But the Rams, they got it done. They advanced. It wasn't a pretty win, but at this stage of the season, a win is a win. I am nervous. We'll talk about this later as they move on to the next round, but they got it done. But what's your thoughts on this game?
Um, a few things. I'm proud of the Panthers. We had them as a sleeper team. Um, I think you're right. Their offense is kind of loaded if you look at it. They got McMillan, Coca, who's emerged. They still got Leggett, who hasn't figured it out, and he's supposed to, he's a higher pick.
Yeah,
They got Tremble. I like that they got two running backs. I'm not sure if they keep Dowdle, but I think they
he
probably
sounds
will.
like he sounds like he wants to leave free agency because he wants to be a starter.
Yeah, and that's could be a thing. But either way, they got a good team, and to me, I think that at least gives you I think it answered for me that he could make them. He was making big time throws in a playoff game. That play in the corner to Coco was pss, dime. Like there wasn't anything you could do to defend that. It was, I still think that he has a lot more to develop, but he showed enough for me to believe he's their quarterback going forward, at least for now. I wouldn't go into next year with the questions. Doesn't mean it changes that it can't change, but I think he answered that. So I am
think
proud of
I
them
think
as a
for him
team.
though, I'm sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think for him though, it's all about consistency. Because
Yeah.
I think the problem with him is that he will have a game like he had on Saturday, but then he will follow that up by playing like complete ass.
Yeah.
Like there was like a 4 game stretch there where he looked great against the Falcons, and then the next week against the Niners,
Worst
you're
game is good.
questioning like, is this even an NFL quarterback? And then the week after that, he balled out against the Rams, and then the week after that, he played like ass against the Saints.
Yeah.
So it's not consistent.
Yeah, he did definitely needs to step up the consistency. I think if the team puts the confidence in him, I think that he could get there, but he's still very small. So we'll see as far as how long he'll last in the NFL. But I do think he showed me enough. On the Rams side, and their defense, I love their defense, man. So their defense is fast. They're young. I love both their cornerbacks. I think they have a bright future on the defense. They're probably a couple pieces away, but they got a bright future. On the Rams, I mean, it comes down to what we preached all year. And I talked about it last week. If there's one thing that does scare us, it's the cornerbacks. Akello's just not good. He can't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? He's decent when he's out there, but he's sporadically up and down, right?
Right.
We don't have a number one corner. I feel like all these guys would be good threes. Some of them are decent twos, but we don't have literally don't have a number one corner. We're too reliant on Lake and our safeties and our pass rush because we lack an actual starting cornerback. Now, we begged for us to trade for a cornerback. We didn't. Now it is what it is, right? The offense can't disappear for 2 quarters. You can't do that. It's not something you could do. They need to get the running game more involved. And I think that sometimes going up and down the field, which they was doing in the beginning, they was putting the defense in bad positions because they kept have to go back on the field, right? And they got exposed at points, right? And I think that one of the things I spoke about before is if a quarterback breaks down in the pocket and he can move, our cornerbacks get out of position way more than they're in good position.
And that's
So,
been nervous about Chicago.
yep, and we talked about that before, and the reason being is those offset plays, our cornerbacks are never in position, and we don't really have the linebackers that can stop scrambling quarterbacks. Like we haven't shown that. It's one of the problems we have with the Eagles, one of the problems we've had with the Panthers. Just last week, once they started getting him running, look it, they was running up and down the field. He was dropping passes, and we're just out of position. So our cornerbacks need to play better, and I was very disappointed in them in this game. Like I was very like I don't think our defense as a whole played bad, but our cornerbacks were atrocious. Our safeties didn't really do that good of a job this game neither. With that being said, I would like to see more of a balanced offense with more running, longer drives, things like that, because I don't want to see Caleb running around. But as far as the game, not too much complaining when you get the win. You live and you learn. We got battle tested in the first round of the playoffs. I think that bodes well going forward. I mean, it's one thing when you get tested and you lose. It's another thing when you get tested and win. So I think that we'll be ready next week or this week coming up. There's a chance Dotson comes back. Not having him out there, you could really see it. So that's a big loss to not have as far as running and pass protection. But I'll take it. I'll take it. Not much complaining. I will take it.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, at this point in the season, a win is a win, so you can't really complain too much. But like I said, I am nervous about next week, but we'll see how it plays out. But before we get to that, let's talk about the team they will be playing next week, and that is the Chicago Bears. They beat the Green Bay Packers 31-27. It is the largest comeback in Bears playoff history, which surprisingly, this is a team that's been around for 106 years. And but they found a way to win. And Jordan Love balled out, but the Packers blew it. They just blew it. And I'll go over the stats real quickly and I'll give you my thoughts.
Mhm.
Jordan Love completed 24 46 passes, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Josh Jacobs, 19 carries, only 55 yards. He was their leading rusher. Romeo Dobbs was their leading receiver, 8 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Over on Chicago's side, Caleb Williams completed 24 48 passes for 361 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. DeAndre Swift led the team in rushing with 13 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Colston Loveland was their leading receiver with 8 catches, 137 yards. And Caleb Williams, I thought he was being crybaby Caleb again, but they were saying the Bears players were saying that he was yelling at the receivers because both of his interceptions, the receiver ran the wrong route. So he was basically just getting on the ass. But to me, this game came down to the Packers kicker. He missed 2 field goals and an extra point. That's 7 points right there. And so had he made his kicks, the Packers win this game 34-31. He missed those kicks and they ended up losing. And so that to me, that was the difference in the game. Even if he just made one of those kicks, that final drive, instead of them trying to score a touchdown, all they would have needed was just a field goal. So the kicker really blew it for them, for the Packers. And then the Bears, they just did what they've done all season long. I don't know how they keep doing it. Like
Cardiac Bears.
they keep finding ways to win. And Caleb's player comp coming out of college was John Elway. And John Elway, for people that don't know, maybe they're too young or you just weren't born yet. But John Elway he used to do that shit all the time. They used to call him Captain Comeback. Like he would just find a way to win. And Caleb Williams is starting to play like that now. And John Elway was considered a generational quarterback. And so is Caleb Williams. And he's been looking generational, especially this year. And that's what makes me nervous because we're the Rams. We're a team that we give up leads, and we're playing against a team that regardless of the score, they always find a way to come back. They don't doesn't matter if they're down by 20, they're gonna find a way to battle back and come back. And that's what makes me nervous. And like you were saying, our offense can't disappear for 2 quarters. You
Yeah.
disappear against this team, they're gonna come back on you. And then again, you talked about our defense struggling against running quarterbacks. Caleb, he can run around and he doesn't even run to run. He runs just to buy time, and then he'll just throw some shit out of his ass, and it somehow gets to the receiver.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Bears. I don't know. This might be their year. Who knows? But I am really nervous about this game because this is a team that just won't quit, and they just keep finding ways to win. And it wouldn't surprise me if they win on Sunday. I hope they don't. But this is a team that you can't fool around with. Like if you got them down, you got to make sure you go for the kill because if you just give them just a breath of air, just an inch of air, whatever,
Yeah.
they're gonna take advantage of it and they're gonna find a way to crawl back and beat you.
Yeah.
But this is a huge game. I mean, excuse me, huge win against their rivals. Obviously, you could tell Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur do not fuck with each other. And then as far as for after the game, there was rumors that Matt LaFleur might be fired. But the Packers are saying that they're working on an extension with Matt LaFleur, so it looks like he's gonna keep his job. And I don't think they should fire him anyway. But to me, the defense kind of fell apart after Michael Parsons got hurt. They were never the same, and they lost all 5 games. They lost the last 5 games without Micah. But I'm putting this game strictly on the kicker because if you do your job, which is make field goals, the Packers are not even in this situation.
And fair to say, fair to say. But like you said, if you get them down and you don't step on them, Caleb has that it factor in him to bring you back. I mean, how good does it got to be if you're a Bears fan to come back, not only have the biggest comeback in playoff history, but to do it against your rival?
Yeah,
Uh, I'm sure this is why they're all over Rams timeline this week talking crazy because you got to feel pumped after that one. It was like Buster Douglas knocking out Tyson. So good for them. Don't got much to say about the Packers. They are who I thought they were and who you thought they were, especially even with Micah. I don't know if it would have. Maybe Micah could have got a couple of those plays to end this game, but I'm not so sure it would have been too much different because he's disappeared in playoff games and ended the season before.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I just sorry to cut you off.
yeah,
No, my whole thing about Micah, I don't know if he would have made a difference, but I'm just saying, like, I was surprised that defensively they just fell apart without him.
yeah, I
They went
agree.
from top 10 defense with him to a bottom tier defense without him.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't mean on the 5 game stretch. I just mean in this game in general.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have swung the bar. But I mean, the Bears have 3 number 1 wide receivers. They have one of the top 10, top at least 10, maybe 5 tight ends in the league with Loveland. Man, I knew he was going to be one of those guys coming out this draft. You could just see it. But they're dangerous. They got 2 good running backs. They got a generational quarterback.
Don't forget
Um,
about Cole Kmet.
yeah, man, I think they should move on from Cole Kmet. I think Loveland's
Yeah,
that good.
yeah, well, yeah, everybody was surprised during the draft that they even drafted a tight end because Cole Kmet's a Pro Bowl tight end himself.
I
But you're
understand.
right. You're right though. Loveland, he's been balling out this year.
Loveland looks like a prime Kelsey.
Yeah,
Like Cole Kmet don't look like that. It's almost like with the Raiders and Mayer and Bowers. you know Bauer's your guy. Like Mayer could start on most teams. Like just let him go somewhere else. Like he's always gonna be Robin here. Doesn't he's not gonna be able to be anything really. So I kind of look at like Cole Komet's real good. Loveland's great. I think there's move on. That's just my opinion. I mean, I think Cole Kmet got a good contract. That's why I'm saying that. I think it's let him go somewhere else. But as far as the Bears, they're dangerous. I don't think they should have been down by the amount they was down in this game. And I think they woke up late. But that just only tells you how dangerous they are. I thought they should have won this game easy. I think they made it difficult on themselves. I don't think it needed to be this hard.
Well, I think part of it though, and was the inexperience. No, that was their for a lot of them. That was their first time making playing in the playoffs, and so I just think they look nervous.
Yeah,
As I talked about earlier, both of Caleb Williams' interceptions was because the receiver ran the wrong route, and I think you make those kind of mistakes because you are nervous playing in your first playoff game.
I agree with it. But I mean, I'll end it with this. Shout out to the Bears. I mean, I was impressed with what they did.
Yeah, me too. I've been impressed with them this whole season,
Yep.
and my mama's a Bears fan, so this is gonna be a tough week too.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Uh,
All right, then we got
you
the
better run from Mama Thomas this week. It's gonna be a problem.
oh man, especially if they win, I gotta hear that shit.
Oh Jesus.
But we have the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-24. The Buffalo Bills won their first road playoff game since 1992. And Mike, you know what also happened in 1992?
Did they lose in the playoffs? I mean the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they made the Super Bowl, but yeah, they
They lost.
lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they made it and lost 4 years in a row. Not one, not two, not three, but four.
But the point is, last time the Bills won a playoff game on the road, they went to the Super Bowl. So Bills fans are hoping that that's the case again this year.
I'm tired of these narratives. Then we will not see them in the Super Bowl. But go ahead.
Hey, them and the Rams are still the favorites to play each other in the Super Bowl. We'll see. But Josh Allen, he balled out. He completed 28 or 35 passes, 273 yards, one touchdown. James Cook actually had a bad game. He only had 15 carries for 46 yards, but
Yep.
he was their leading rusher. Not surprised by that because Jacksonville does have a top 5 defense.
Yep.
And then Kahil Shakir, excuse me, he was their leading receiver with 12 catches, 82 yards. For Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence was up and down. He completed 18 or 30 passes for 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he did have 2 picks, especially the one at the end, which pretty much cost him the game. Even though it really wasn't his fault, it was kind of a tip ball, but he could have probably threw a better ball. Travis Etienne led the team in rushing with 10 carries, 67 yards. Parker Washington was the leading receiver with 7 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. But man, Josh Allen showed you the Bills showed you how you're supposed to do the touch push. They did the touch push with Josh Allen. He took that shit 10 extra yards.
Yeah,
He
he did.
dragged,
He
he
always
dragged
try to go in the end zone.
yeah, he dragged the whole entire Jacksonville defense with him.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts only could wish he could do the touch push that good.
Yep. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. That's not a tush push. That's a tush a bus push. Like I don't know what that is, man. Literally carried his team, their team. Didn't matter who you was.
Everybody, they couldn't even bring him down. I'm surprised they didn't even blow it dead. They just kept letting him go.
Big facts. Almost like they wanted to let him.
But Buffalo got the win. For Jacksonville, they've had a great season. They had their best season since 1999. I said this before. To me, all the pressure in these playoffs were on the Buffalo Bills because they have no excuses. The 2 teams that they have not been able to beat in the playoffs in the Josh Allen era has been Kansas City and Cincinnati. Neither of those teams are in the playoffs. So this should be their year. And you look at not just the AFC, but just the playoffs in general. You have a lot of inexperienced teams. So there's really no excuses for Buffalo, but they got it done. They got the win, first road playoff win since 1992. For Trevor Lawrence, I thought he played okay. He did throw, one bad interception, but for the most part, he played okay. I don't think the loss was on him. The defense, for the most part, They played well, but there was just certain points where just Josh Allen just better. And we also got to see the strange Josh Allen on Josh Allen crime as the Jags linebacker Josh Allen got a few licks on Bills Josh Allen. So that was
Yep.
pretty funny. But yeah, I thought Jacksonville they had a great season, and the Bills they're moving on. And this is the one game of the week that I got wrong. I thought Jacksonville was going to win, but
Mm.
Buffalo pulled it out.
Yep, we both got duped here, but just shout out to Jacksonville from going 4-13 last year and flipping it to 13-4 this year. So they got a bright future. I think Thomas Jr. showed them they should keep him, but we'll see how that goes. Seeing how they extended Myers and they have Hunter. Their offense looks like it's making strides. Trevor can't make that decision at the end of the game. I know that it got tipped, but you can't give that ball away on first down. You got to give your chance, your team a chance to fight, and you got to be. You could just see the difference between like Stafford when he needs a game-winning drive, or even Allen prior to that, and you just see they're more cool, calm, collective. Lawrence just, I don't know, man. I seen glimpses of generational this year, but I've also seen glimpses of like saying same old Trevor, like people say same old Sam Donald, you know? So they do need more from him. He needs to show that the pressure's not too big for him. I got this game wrong as well. Josh Allen obviously carried them to a win. I mean, it took a lot. Yeah, I mean, probably not as much as he's gonna need this week in the team he's going to play. I think he's gonna need a lot more. He's definitely gonna need James Cook to show up. I mean, if he couldn't get the run game going on Jacksonville, it's probably gonna be even harder on Denver. So we'll see how that goes.
But I will say though, for Buffalo, if they could score 20 points or maybe even 17, I
Yeah,
think they win. 'Cause Denver, they they're like Philly. They struggle offensively.
I agree. But the only thing that where I would counteract that is the Bills defense isn't good.
No,
So
not.
yeah, so I mean, if RJ Javi breaks a 60-yard touchdown run, or Bo Nix comes out and throws for 300 this game, I wouldn't be surprised. The Bills defense just isn't good.
Nah,
So
but I watched Denver's offense struggle against the Raiders in
I
that
yeah,
boring ass 10-7 game.
I agree, but that's also a division game.
That's
So you gotta they kind of at least know each other's system. They know tendencies, things like that. I don't know if the Bills will be able to figure out Sean Payton in this game defensively. Think offensively, they're gonna put Denver in some situations where they're gonna have to score, which means Payton's gonna have to let them throw. And can Bo Nix throw on the Bills defense? My answer would probably be yeah. So I think that's gonna be one of the games of the week to watch for sure. It's gonna be a good game.
yeah. I think it'll be a good game. We'll pick our winner later on.
Yeah.
I think I agree with all your points. It's also too a rematch game. Buffalo beat Denver in the playoffs last year, 31-7
Yep.
in the wild card. So the Broncos could get some revenge. The story of this game, though, at what happened after the game, where a Jacksonville reporter pretty much told Liam Cohen to just keep his head up, congratulate him on a great season. And like I mentioned earlier, the Jags had their best season since 1999.
Yep.
This woman has been covering the team for 30 years, and she's seen a lot of bad football in those 30 years. So she
Yeah.
was just giving Liam Cohen some words of encouragement, and everybody online, and even her colleagues in the media all criticized her, talking about she's unprofessional. Me
Yeah.
personally, I have nothing wrong with what she said. She is a local reporter.
Yeah.
You could see in Liam Cohen's face, he was damn near in tears. So he was really beat up about the game. She was just trying to keep his spirits up, trying to encourage him. She's
Zero.
right though. Yeah, she's right. They do have a bright future, and he has nothing to,
And nothing
beat
to
up.
be ashamed about. You lost by 3 points to Josh Allen, who most people believe is the best quarterback in the world. It is what it is.
But yeah, I mean, do you think though? What's your thoughts on people like criticizing this woman? 'Cause to me, I don't think she.
I mean, people are gonna do people things, but I would say, do I have a problem with it? 0%. Not any issue with it. Even if she didn't report for that team, I don't know their relationship. She could have, he could have been a Rams reporter or a woman from the Rams, and they've interviewed him 20 times, and they gave him a couple words of encouragement. I would have zero problems with that. This is a hometown reporter. She probably sees him every day since he got there, and she's also went through a long time of bad football. People need to just leave certain things alone. That's that negative engagement bait. That's all that is.
Yeah, I agree. I have no problem with what she said or.
Not even a little. I don't even have enough like of a problem with it to think of why it's a problem. I completely don't
Yeah,
understand it.
honestly, I was surprised that it was a problem to begin with.
Yeah. I can't find that train of thought to understand how that could be a problem.
You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on now. We have the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, they did it again. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles 23-19. They knock out the defending Super Bowl champs, and they just keep finding ways to win. George Kittle left the game in the second quarter. He tore his Achilles.
Terrible
Uh,
news.
yeah, not only is he out for the rest of the playoffs, but he's pretty much gonna be out next year too because it's so
Yeah.
late in the season.
Even as a Rams fan, I hate that shit.
Yeah, me too. And then it sucks because he's been battling a hamstring injury all season, and then for him to make his way back a couple weeks ago, and then to have this happen, it sucks.
Sucks.
But
It sucks, man. Kittle's a baller. I don't think there's any Rams fan that hates George Kittle.
yeah, but people have been saying since the injury happened that the Niners are going to struggle without him, and I disagree because, like I said, he's missed most of the season anyway, so
Yeah.
they're used to playing without him. And their backup tight end, he proved that he's not that bad.
Tanji is all right.
Yeah,
I think unless McCaffrey goes down, and knock on air, nobody wants to see that. The Niners should be all right. Even if Purdy went down, I think they'd be all
yeah,
right.
they've proven that they can win with Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think it just their offense goes through Christian. So if McCaffrey can make it through the playoffs, they'll be just fine. If McCaffrey ever went down, they'll be in a problem. And even on top of that, Brian Robinson Jr. has looked good.
I
He's
was
just
I
not
was about to
McCaffrey.
say that. Like, I don't even know
Just
if
yeah,
he's not McCaffrey, but I think they'll still be all right with Brian Robinson. And
yeah,
I think Kyle should give him more touches because every time he gets touches, like he
yeah.
does good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He just looks a lot bigger, a lot faster over there. It's
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
I don't know what's going on. He didn't
Yeah.
look like that in Washington.
Yeah, he doesn't. He looks like when he gets in, he looks like Eddie George. It's like, what? When did he get this big? Maybe McCaffrey's just that little or something.
Right, and
But
when I say he looks bigger, like, I don't mean like size, I mean like in height.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. He looks
yeah.
like he grew 3 inches.
Eddie George is like a 6'4" running back, and that's what he looks like.
That's what, what I'm trying to. I don't know where it came from. It just he like maybe he grew. I don't know.
He went through a growth spurt,
It's possible. He could have been real young. I don't know his age.
but, well, I'll say this, though, I know the Commanders, they regret trading him. I don't know what
Well,
they were
you
thinking.
gotta. If they traded him and he grew 3 inches, they got 15 more pounds. It's like, pff, what do you have over there? Their running backs are garbage.
Yeah,
Actually, actually, Rodriguez looked all right when they was leaning on him towards the end of the year. But they still got other issues. But their running backs, they look like they've missed more than they hit as far as their draft picks on running backs.
and, to answer your question, Brian Robinson is 26.
I mean, maybe at a late growth spurt. Highly unlikely, but he maybe it's just the uniforms, but he does look like he got taller.
Yeah, he does look like he got taller, but he's listed at, 6'1", which is still pretty tall for a running back.
Yeah, but I don't maybe the commander's uniform, he just looks small. I don't know.
I don't
But
know, but
I didn't know he was that big of a running back.
Brock Purdy, he completed 18 of 31 passes for 262 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and 2 terrible picks,
He
but he
did for
still
a
got it
few of them.
done. Juwan Jennings was 1 for 1 for 29 yards and a touchdown, which kinda gave the Niners momentum. Christian McCaffrey, He 15 carries for 48 yards was their leading rusher. And then Demarcus Robinson, the former Ram, had the best game of his career, 6 catches for a buck 11 and a touchdown. So he balled out.
Mhm.
And then for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts completed 20 of 35 passes for 168 yards, a touchdown,
Yuck.
4 picks. And he only has 75 yards passing in the entire second half.
Yuck. I see
Saquon
one
Saquon
thing.
Barkley,
Let me add in one thing before you go to Barkley.
yeah,
I seen a stat in the month of December. Puka has almost as many receiving yards, if not more, than Jalen Hurts has passing yards for the whole month.
I'm shit.
Bro,
Tom, if I don't know if you listened to the commentators while watching the game, but Tom Brady was disgusted watching Jalen Hurts on Sunday.
yeah, I don't blame him, man. But let's
Like Tom Brady, you could tell Tom Brady was disgusted, but he was trying to be nice about it. He
yo,
he was like, "Man, I don't know what Jalen's, like, looking at here. I don't know what he's seeing. I don't know what he was doing." Like, Tom Brady wanted to say, like, "I don't know what the fuck this man's
they
doing."
need to let Tom unleash and just say what he
Yeah,
wants. Man. Like I would like to hear what he really wanted to say.
yeah, like, right now, he's still trying to be PC, like, he's trying to be politically correct, but you can tell, and it's like, he's like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on
He wants to say this guy fucking sucks, man.
here."
I don't know what's going on here. You got to go to the what else do you have behind him? You got to figure something out.
Man, put Tanner McKee back in.
Look, I'm gonna send you it right now. Look at this. What I'm sending you, and
Alright.
then don't forget you was at Barkley.
Alright, well, yeah, let me do Barkley real quick
Go
while
ahead.
you send that over.
Yep,
But,
it's sent.
Saquon had 26 carries for 106 yards. He was a leading rusher. It was actually one of his better games of the season.
Yeah,
And then, Devontae Smith was their leading receiver with 8 catches, 70 yards. The story of this game, though, is how the Niners found a way to win despite all the injuries. And then for the Eagles, AJ Brown. I mean, you've been bitching and moaning all year about not getting the ball, and you had 2 terrible drops.
I think it was
And
three.
then yeah, and then yeah, maybe 3. And then to compound the issue, um, you get into it with the coach.
Yep.
And then, like, look like you and Nick Sirianni about to throw hands. But, so I don't there's rumors that, AJ Green, not AJ Green, AJ Brown will
My
probably get
dog.
traded. Yeah, Stanford, Matthew Stafford's college teammate. But, yeah, there's rumors that AJ Brown will get traded. We'll see what happens. But I'll say this about Jalen Hurts. During the preseason, a lot of fans were complaining about the NFL 100
Yeah,
because they had Jared Goff as a top 5 quarterback and not Jalen Hurts.
yeah,
And a lot of people are pissed off about it because, "Oh, how can you have, Jared Goff ahead of, Jalen Hurts? This list is some bullshit, and they don't know what they're talking about." And we're like, "Well, I mean, not the fans, but the players voted on that list." So the players who
yeah,
compete against both of these guys, they're telling you that Jared Goff is better.
yeah,
And this game showed you why the players voted why they did. In
yeah.
2026, you can say whatever you want about Jared Goff. Jared Goff's not throwing for 168 yards in a playoff game.
Yeah, Jared Goff would have had the Eagles probably the highest scoring offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what would have happened if he was over there. I mean,
Like,
so
and we see it time and time again where they can't do anything offensively in the second half. It's like they only play one half of football.
it's almost like these teams just need 2 quarters to figure out what he can't do.
Yeah.
That's basically what it looks like to and I don't
Yeah.
some of these deficiencies can be coaching, um, because I don't think Jalen Hurts had the problems he has now a couple of years ago. Like,
But that goes back to Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is the offensive guy.
they
So
sent his
you're
development backwards. He's went backwards.
yeah, because like, okay, you're Nick Sirianni is the offensive guy. So why is it that your specialty is what's struggling the most on that team?
I don't know. I think egos has taken over in Philly, starting they all take the personality of your coach, which is probably why, they have these egos. Even and me, I don't get into people's jewelry and stuff like that, but you could just see Jalen Hurts' demeanor isn't the cool, calm, collective guy that he always tries to act like he is. You could see there's something behind that. And then Barkley kind of looks like the pushover over there. and AJ and Devontae are vocal, but I could imagine Hurts, AJ, and these guys argue all the time behind scenes. It just looks like that to me. It just looks like that's the way it goes, and I think that all brushes off of their coach. Like he has attitude problems. You can see it.
Yeah, he's always talking shit to the fans.
Yeah, so when he can't, it's almost like what we said about Dan Campbell, how he doesn't he's not learning from his mistakes. You're not going to be able to train your players to learn from their mistakes when they're watching you not be able to learn from your mistakes. So you kind of take on the personality of your coach. You know what I'm saying?
But it seems like they don't even like their coach.
That could be the problem. You know what I'm saying? He has an attitude. He has an attitude. I have an attitude. It's like, bro, this isn't gonna work. Um, and then let me get off the Eagles for a second though, because the Eagles have been a train wreck. I think most people thought, depending on who their matchup was, they would be one and done when the playoffs started. But I want to get off the negative and take a second to give Shanahan his props. I believe he deserves Coach of the Year for everything he went through. That's just my
I do
opinion.
too.
I mean,
Both,
I
both him and Salah.
yeah, I think he deserves Coach of the Year. I what he's done, whether it was quarterbacks that went down, the Ayuk situation he had to handle, Kittle off and on the field for the whole year.
Ayuk
Um,
might be the dumbest motherfucker in the earth.
what'd you say?
Brandon Ayuk might be the dumbest person on earth.
But yeah, I know. And then he
He
drove
could have
by
got
the
a free.
stadium going a buck four.
Yeah, he could have got a free 25 million. All he had to do was go to rehab, and he refused to show up.
Yep. So yeah, his career is gonna be in limbo. He's not gonna get another big contract, I don't believe. But I'll give the 49ers their props. They're gonna be a tough out. I'm happy they don't have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. I know that Seattle mauled them a couple of weeks ago, not score wise, but as far as their offense, they dismantled them. I think they scored 3 points, 16-3
Yeah,
or
it was,
something,
13-3.
13-3, something. I knew it was something like that. But I don't think that will happen to the Niners again. I don't think even with Kittle going down, it obviously makes them less explosive. But I think that Shanahan's gonna dial up some of his best work next week. But I think that they with Purdy giving you two freebies, with no their top two stars on defense gone, tight end gone for most of the game, a quarterback that most people think's mediocre, depending on who you ask. No top tier wide receiver, an aged out running back, and they still didn't look like it was hard for them to beat the Eagles. So they're gonna be a hard out.
Yeah, I'll give Shanahan credit too. He somehow found a way to unleash Demarcus Robertson. He didn't play this well with the Rams.
He did the same thing with Bourne, like halfway through the season. Like, how's Bourne
Yeah,
having these games? This is what I'm telling you. He deserves Coach of the Year to me. I don't even know who some of these guys are. They just
yeah,
pop out the woodwork,
I was like, Demarcus Robinson's like their wide receiver one. He's
bro.
balling out, and it's like,
Bro,
where did this come from?
he runs stuff like the Patriots back in the days. Like Purdy, not as the player, we know he's not this, but Purdy's his Tom Brady or Mac Jones, whatever one you give him, and you
Well,
could just
no,
throw
I
any
think
wide
Tom Brady.
receivers.
I think Tom Brady's a fair comparison because remember Tom Brady early in his career was more of a game manager.
Yeah, for sure. And Purdy's coming out of that. Purdy doesn't look like a game manager no more. He's starting to break free from that.
Yeah,
I mean, so I
sometimes he's a little too confident with those careless passes.
yeah, and he doesn't really have the arm he thinks he has, but he's
Yeah,
he's elevated past the game manager. But when you're taking Philip Rivers risk, it's not a good thing. I mean, but we unless you have something else, we could dive to the next game. Good for the
yeah. Well,
Niners.
I'll just say this though. I agree with you, Kyle Shanahan. I think he should be coach of the year.
Yeah,
The job that this might be the best coaching job I think he's ever done.
I think so too.
All the injuries, and they still found a way to not only get into the playoffs, but it was just 2 weeks ago they were playing Seattle for the number one seed.
Yeah, they almost took home field advantage throughout.
Yeah, and then Robert Saleh needs credit too because the Niners defensively, I think they're ranked 17th, so their
Yeah,
average. Well, all those injuries, they should be 32nd. They should be like the Cincinnati Bengals. So the fact that they even have an average defense, I mean, you got to give Saleh credit. I don't know if Saleh is up for any interviews, But I think they should. I think he's one coach that should get a second chance. I don't think you could blame all the mess with the Jets on him. But
Mhm.
he's proven what he can do, at least as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to the next game, and that is maybe the worst game of the weekend. The New England Patriots beat the LA Chargers 16-3. Um, this game was tough to watch. It really was.
Yep.
Offensively, neither team really did much. New England just did enough. But the story of this game, once again, is Justin Herbert. He another bad playoff game for him.
Yeah.
And this has been the issue. As great as he is in the regular season, and he's the one quarterback that every GM and scout, you ask them who's the one quarterback you'll build your franchise around. They all pick Justin Herbert, but for some reason that has not translated into the playoffs. He keeps struggling in every playoff game. But Drake May, he was okay in this game. He completed 17 of 29 passes, 268 yards, one touchdown, one pick. Justin Herbert completed 19 of 31 for 159 yards. He did get sacked 6 times. Justin Herbert was also the Chargers' leading rusher with 10 carries for 57 yards. And Drake May was the Patriots' leading rusher with 10 carries for 66 yards. So it's not a good game where the quarterbacks are your leading rusher as well.
For real.
And then Lad McConkey was the Chargers' leading receiver, 3 catches for 32 yards. And then Ramondre Stevenson was the Patriots' leading receiver for 3 catches for 75 yards. So again, this was a game that if you like defense, this was the game for you. If you want to see offense and team scoring, don't even bother rewatching this game or even watching it if you missed it.
Yep.
But for the Patriots, they did enough to win. They're moving on. I think next week it might be a similar game because Houston has another great defense. So
Yeah.
it might be another low scoring game. But to me, the story of this game is all about the Chargers, Justin Herbert not living up to expectations. Maybe this year I can give them a little bit of a pass because they are banged up. Their O line has been hurt all season, and then also too their top two running backs have been hurt. They
Mhm.
signed Najee Harris. That was their big free agent signing. He got hurt early in the season. And then their second string running back, I forgot his name, but he got hurt as well. So they was playing with their running back three. But Justin Herbert, he just did not perform well. And he's taking a lot of heat, especially here locally. But what were your thoughts on this game? I know it's close to you being in New England.
I mean, their O line with no Joe Alt is. I'm gonna say one thing because I was ready to come and throw dots at Herbert, but then I seen a stat that told. First of all, their OC, another person that dialed up the one of the worst playoff games I've seen in a while. It's between
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman. I don't know. You got Justin Herbert. Like you, I'm not. All right, just look. Offensively, that trashiest game plan ever. Um, he had 31 passes, I believe. How many passes did Herbert have total?
31.
And he was pressured 30 times.
So pretty much every time he dropped back, he got pressure.
Bro, it wasn't his fault this game. Like, you can't do nothing there. Like, yeah, there's these calls that are coming in are atrocious, right? You're not no the running game isn't working. And every time you step back, somebody was trying to hit you. Besides one. Probably why you got 3 points.
Yeah. And he was their leading rusher.
Yeah. So this is all I'm telling you, man. Like I've watched Herbert lose playoff games. This y'all lost as a franchise unit, building, owner. Like I don't know what that y'all all earned this one. If you can't keep your $250 million quarterback up and you can at least get him 5 clean passes in the game, what the hell do you want the kid to do? I guarantee you he was seeing ghosts. He just ain't dumb enough to say what Sam Donald said in that media room. It's the only difference. It's like think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you back up 31 times, 30 after the first 10, you just know they're coming. Doesn't matter where they're necessarily coming from. You know they're there. I mean, so I don't think there's much Herbert could have done in this game unless he had like a RoboCop suit on. It's like,
Yeah, and that's what I said. Maybe you can give them a little bit of a pass because their O line has been banged up. I mean,
Joe.
not only you talked about Joe All, but they also lost Rashawn Slater.
Yep,
Yeah,
but
I
Joe
think the
Alt,
center went down too.
yeah, they did. But what I mean is this: just Joe Alt swings their win percentage like almost like 70%. It also
Joe All proves to you why the left tackle is so important.
yeah, and Herbert's one of those guys you can see when he feels pressure, and that's why he's been running more, I think. But and I'm not gonna say he's a bad quarterback under pressure, but you can see it rattles him. So they need to, if they can't protect him, send him to the other LA team. Yeah, I'm sure McVay will take him in a year.
All right, I know you said this game's not on Herbert, but do you feel like it's fair to criticize him for his struggles in the playoffs?
Absolutely, because you had a couple four interception playoff games. Like we know that your O line's banged up, stuff like that, but the reason why he's not going to get that excuse is because you've played bad overall in the playoffs. Had you have played good before, a lot of people would be like, this is what it is. He wasn't protected. But because you haven't played good in the playoffs, that people are not going to be willing to give you that excuse. So it does fall on Herbert. It does fall on coaching. It falls on everybody. But I know, as this as a football fan. If you don't protect him, there's nothing he's going to be able to do.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes learned that in the Super Bowl last year,
Yep, it just is what it is.
and Tom Brady learned that in both Super Bowls against the Giants.
And yeah, for real. And the Patriots didn't necessarily play great from an offensive standpoint in this game, but they played well enough to win. One thing I will say is going into next week, um, the Patriots will blow the Texans out if you fumble the ball 2, 3 times. I'll
Yeah,
take that.
CJ Stroud can't play as bad as he did
Yeah.
yesterday against the Patriots.
Because the Patriots will at least score and capitalize on a few of those. Like
Yeah,
it won't be like the Steelers. And therefore, like your little comeback rally might not work. It would just be you catching up. And if your offense is playing like that, Drake May is gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
yeah.
It just is
Now
what
the
it is.
interesting thing though is that Christian Gonzalez left the game with concussion,
Yeah.
so both him and Nico Collins will probably miss next week. So the Patriots will be out with their CB1, and the Texans will be out with their wide receiver one.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to see if who they got lining up against Christian Kirk, who will move up to wide receiver one. And Christian Kirk played well last
It
night.
it went nuts.
Does against his Patriots defense.
Yeah. Thing that sucks about the Nico concussion, at this point, he's kinda getting injury prone, but
Yeah,
the one thing that sucked, and his concussions are piling up, which isn't a good thing. But the, um the one thing that sucked about that one is he caused that because he missed the ball. Like, had he had caught the ball clean, he would have landed on his elbows, he would have been fine, but because he dropped the ball and you catch it, you fall. Because he bobbled it and the ball went back, he had to try to go back and get it.
he
And he
jumped.
literally dove all 6 foot, whatever, him 200 pounds face first into the ground. He will not be back this week. I will assure you that 100%. Gonzalez has a chance. But Nico's, I wouldn't doubt that he missed the next 2 weeks, even if he was on, because that's a bad one for someone that has a concussion history,
Yeah,
especially that type.
Gonzalez is listed as questionable.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he won't play because
yeah.
based on what we've seen, if you get a concussion, they're gonna sit you out at least a week. But
Sometimes you could clam 5 days. You could,
yeah, sometimes, yeah.
yeah.
But so I'll be surprised if he plays on Sunday. But if he does, that'd be huge for the Patriots.
I'm gonna say going off of just rumors around here, I believe Gonzalez will play. I don't think Nico will.
Yeah, Nico, his concussion looked worse.
Yeah, Gonzalez is trying to play. Like he's just waiting for the go ahead. So
Well, yeah, he has to get cleared by
yeah, but Nico still he's that
yeah,
trust
he ain't getting
he
cleared yet.
might not have woke up yet. So let's give you the heads up. Like I said, just coming from out here, a little bit of inside information. I believe Gonzalez will play.
Yeah, Nico, he might have a Jackson Dart concussion where he missed 2 weeks.
Yep, he might be done for the season. To
Well, I
tell
mean,
you
if
the
they
truth.
lose, he'll be done for the season.
No, I mean, even if they went on and say went and won the Super Bowl, he might still be done for the season.
Oh, so you think the concussion was that bad?
Yeah, it's a bad one, especially coming off one earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Like they might sit him regardless.
Just somewhere Troy Aikman's like, man, back in the day, they just ask you how many figures I'm holding up and put your ass back out there.
Steve Young, I believe, had multiple in like every season. But the thing is, though, if Nico Collins ever got right and played, saying that 2 weeks from now and got another concussion, that might be his career. So that's why
Well,
it's like I don't know if he'll be back this year.
yeah, I mean, Troy Aikman's the one that I know of that retired because of too many concussions, but another one that retired because of too many concussions is Luke Kuechly. That's the reason why he only played 7 years.
Yep,
He
yep,
retired early because of too many concussions.
yep. A
And
lot of
speaking of
people.
Luke Kuechly, I would say though, it was nice to see him and Cam at the Panthers Rams
Yeah, yo,
game.
Cam was trying to break that goddamn
He
drum, bro.
he did,
Yo,
but I'm
Jesus.
I'm happy though that Cam was able to work things out. I know ever since the new owner bought the team,
Yeah,
uh, him and Cam have not seen eye to eye, and he's kind
yeah.
of had to fall out with the organization. But it looks like they've reconciled.
He's the only good quarterback you ever had in your history. You gotta definitely honor him.
No love for Jake Delhomme.
Nope, nor Kerry Collins. Bryce Young would be. I hope he makes it there, but Cam's the only one that I look like the legend. He's the only legend you had to play at quarterback, and he might not even be a legend, but in college, at least he was in college, and he was pretty good in the NFL. He had an MVP, but I don't know if I would say legend.
I mean, he's a Panthers
Oh,
legend.
Panthers legend, yeah, Panthers legend. That's you get what I was saying.
Yeah, but still no love for Jake Delhomme. He took him to a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Should have won that game too.
No love for Jakey, man. I mean, every quarterback that's played in the NFL is good, but doesn't mean you're a legend. It's like, is Mark Bolger really a Rams legend?
No, but I'm just saying for Panthers legends though, Jake Delhomme did more than what Mark Bolger did.
Fair to say, but Mark Bolger might be better than him. So,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, like, it's just one of those things, man. If these are the guys you're listed as your legends, you're telling me your franchise is no good. It's better to just not say them. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, it's like being a Bears fan. Like, is Rex Grossman a legend?
It's,
So that's like the best quarterback they've had until like Caleb.
Yeah, Rex Grossman actually wasn't as bad as people made it seem he was.
Now, Rex Grossman, I'm glad I'm not a Bears fan 'cause I couldn't imagine having to watch Rex Grossman every week because you would have actually not even games. This shit would happen in the same game where like one possession, you look at him like, okay, dude, I could see the hype. Like I could see where they took him in the first round. He might be the next great thing. And then in the same game, he would throw like the worst interception.
Hey,
Like,
Brett Favre did the same shit, man. Brett Favre
yeah,
did the same shit.
like Rex Grossman was Jameis Winston before Jameis Winston. Like Rex Grossman had like 5 touchdowns
Oh
and 5 interceptions
man,
in the same game.
350
Yeah.
passing yards, 270 interception return yards. Yeah, he was putting numbers up, bro, for both teams.
Man, he made Danny Green lose his mind. They are who we thought they were.
We let them off the hook. But man, it is what it is.
All right, but yeah, that was enough. That was it for Wild Card Weekend. So we move on now to the second round of the playoffs. So on Saturday, and actually it's pretty convenient on both conferences, we will have the 1 versus the 6 and a 2 versus the 5. And so Saturday we'll have Broncos Bills, Niners Seahawks, and then Sunday it'll be Texans Patriots, Rams Bears. I do think the NFL is doing the Bills and the Niners dirty because they played on Sunday and then they're giving them only and then now they got to turn around and play on Saturday, so they're getting 6 days off to play against teams that had 2 weeks off. I don't think that's fair. I think the Bears Rams game should have been on Saturday because those two teams played on Saturday. So now you're giving them extra day rest So I don't like how the NFL did it. Um, but we'll see.
Yeah, I
But
don't like the way they did it neither.
yeah, I think yeah, I mean, I think for the AFC, I guess the Bills they really had no choice because it wouldn't be fair for Houston to play Monday and then turn around and play Saturday.
Yeah,
But I think for the Niners, though, they should have made that game Sunday, Niners Seahawks.
yeah.
Instead of
Tony
Saturday.
Dungy lost his mind over there.
Oh, I didn't even hear what Tony Dungy
Oh,
said.
Tony Dungy tweeted like an essay about this, how the playoffs ain't fair, and he doesn't care if it's making the money the way it is, that they're not giving people equal rest. And he went batshit. Go to his page, y'all find it.
I think Tony Dungy just hit that stage of his life where he just doesn't give a fuck. He's just gonna speak his mind.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't say anything wrong. He actually made real good points.
Oh no, they all do. I just feel like all old people, like once you hit like that age, like your 60s,
Basically, the filth is gone. The filth is
yeah,
gone.
the filter's gone. You just stop giving a fuck. It's just like I'm just gonna say what I gotta say and
Yeah,
take it or leave it.
I agree.
And Tony Dungy's at that stage.
Yeah, I think
Me
he is too. But
and
it's
Charles
good.
Barkley.
It's good for the NFL for them to sometimes hear things they need to hear, man.
Yeah.
So good for him. I do want you to pull up that thing I text you before we get up
Oh
out of
yeah,
here.
yeah. Let me pull that shit
I'm
up.
not sure if it's December or just the last month, but it's basically I think it's a whole month though.
Oh, these are Puka's receiving yards.
Yep. Next to Jalen Hurts passing yards for a month worth. Think Puka's got more than him.
Yeah, hold on. Let me do the math.
I'll do the math for you right now. Look it. I'm gonna just give you 4 for 4. So
All right,
one game, Puka has 167, right?
right,
I'm gonna give Hertz that round. He has 168. So Hertz is up by one, right?
right.
The next one I'm gonna give you Puka 189. Jalen Hurts 185. So now Puka's up by 3, right? The next one, Jalen Hurts 175. Puka 225. He basically just went up by like 40 something. And then the last one, Hurts 110, Puka 100. You didn't catch up. Puka has more receiving yards in 4 weeks than Jalen Hurts has in throwing yards. That's disgusting.
Right. And people wonder why the players voted him didn't put him in the top 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's crazy. He got you by like 30 yards. It's like, oh, come on, bro. And it's like 38, something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't understand how you can be beaten by a wide receiver and receiving yards when you're a quarterback. We're getting to the levels of Tim Tebow here. Maybe like 60 yards off.
Yeah, we're not that far off. Like an NFL quarterback in 2026 only throwing for 160 yards in a playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, there's other games where he's throwing a buck 10. Like it's you can't throw for these amount of yards, man. It's like just not acceptable. And he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. So none of that logistically makes sense at all.
Yeah, and then you got like you got Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy looked like he was the best quarterback on the field.
Yeah. 100%. 100%, bro.
But yeah, like I said, Tom Brady, he was disgusted watching Jalen Hurts on Sunday.
I bet he was, man. I 100% bet he was.
He's like Tom Brady, I'll sell my 10% of the Raiders and get on the field and play for y'all.
Yeah, but bear with me 1 second. Let me heat up this coffee, bro.
All right.
Hold on 1 second.
Well,
Go ahead.
while Mike is getting some coffee, I'll just say this: you can listen and follow us on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and um, iHeartRadio. And you can make sure you follow us and like us on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're on Mike and Ant Sports Talk, and you can follow us on Twitter/X. That is at Mob Squad 508 for Mike, at expected underscore Ant for myself. and make sure you scan that QR code and type in the promo code Mob Squad 508, and you get 10% off on all your orders.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then instead of drinking Doobie, Mike has coffee, so he's going old school.
Yeah, I'm on my Prince Nana coffee. I got y'all need the discount code for that. I got y'all as well. Reach out.
Yes. But outside of that, Mike, is there anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, I'm ready. I'm ready for round two of these playoffs. It's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, me too. So later on this week, we will drop our picks and predictions for this playoff round. I mean, for the second round of the playoffs, we'll go over the point spreads and we'll go more in depth in the playoff matchups. We covered a little bit today, but we'll go more in depth later on in the week. And there's also last week was also a bad week for betters, as
Yes, it
there
was.
were a lot of 4 road teams won. So 4 of the 6 road teams won. Only the Patriots and the Bears won. The two seeds won at home. They're the only 2 home teams to win. And then the 2 highest point spreads, the Panthers 10.5 underdogs to the Rams, and the Niners 6 point underdogs to the Eagles, both covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Niners winning outright, and of course the Panthers only losing by 3.
Yep.
So it was, and then the Bears pulled off the upset. So it was not a good week for bettors.
Yeah. And if you remember, what did the Eagles game score in 23-17?
23-19.
23-19. Remember, I called the score be 23-17, but I thought the Eagles would win. I
Yeah.
got pretty close to the score. Wrong team.
Yeah, I thought the Niners would win, but I said 13-10, so I was even close.
Well, either
That,
way,
that was, that was actually the score at halftime.
if we would have combined both of our thoughts, we would have had it.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to get up out of here, bro. Anything else you want to touch on?
Nah, that's it, man. We'll see y'all later on this week.
All right. Well, we out.
All right, peace.